Time to look at what I got going on as I come on the other side of this bacteria and fungal infection. A couple of these fish in here are still struggling, missing some tails, but I'm showing some vigorous activity, and I think that will regrow those tails. Here's what's left of my Variatus platies. Most of them were sent over to the local fish store here earlier this winter, and I kind of chose not to try to raise them out, so I had actually the pack of platies and the 40-gallon breeder, and then I put some outside. The outside ones didn't do all that great. It got a little bit too cold for them, but I did bring in some. So there's a trio that were inside, and you can kind of tell the inside ones are kind of plump. And there's 3 that came in from the outside tubs. They did survive. They did survive the super cold weather, but it's going to get much colder, and they're not going to be able to deal with that. I don't think the Variatus platies will. This third one is what's going to be my Blue Galaxy Guppy strain. It's not really mine, obviously. I bought these from Sydney's Angels, who got them from like a swap in the Chicago land area. I was breeding them for a while. They were kind of inbreeding, and my fish just got kind of just stale and not looking all that great. So we kind of I chose like the 3 best looking ones. I got them in a different tank right now and trying to grow them out. Some of the early offspring from them from this summer are these females here. They're really starting to come out nicely. They match, so any male coming out of them is probably going to have like a similar, not a completely stretched out tail, and that's what I'm looking for, is a peduncle that's a little bit thicker and got more ability to carry these tails. Over here is another 10-gallon with my male guppies in general. Most of these are juvenile to sellable age. What I'm going to do is the guppies that I want to possibly take in for store credit or grow out separate, but not necessarily be part of the mud guppy group, will go over here. The male guppies will. And that first tank was the females. And then coming on down to the bottom left, this is actually the male grow out. It's kind of foggy in there because I had a dose with some API antibacterial stuff, but these are the ones that are bouncing back, and as they continue to develop and they start getting a little bit dominant, I'll put them in the upper right along with the other guppies. This one here, they're struggling. They're like the last group to struggle with the bacteria disease, and they're starting to come back. That guy right there struggling. Look at this girl here. We're probably going to continue to let this tank kind of figure stuff out, and then figure out what I'm going to do with that. This third one, another one that struggled with obviously the bacteria disease, but now female grow out of any type. These are all pretty much mud guppy type, and so these are the females. In fact, there's a male right there, I think, so I'll need to pull him out. This last one here is another strain that I'm trying to keep going. So this is a red blonde guppy strain that I've had since, is it this winter? I think it's this winter. Got it from dansfish.com. Actually, it might have been last winter, or last summer. I don't know. But originally, I think these came from Israel, and then they kind of raised them up in Dance Fish. I got a trio. These are the offspring of that trio. In fact, this might be the offspring of the trio. And so, trying to keep them going in a 10-gallon here. And as I try to continue to grow them out, you might see a few fry pop out here and there. And when I get those, I will put those into one of these grow out tanks, because it's obvious which ones are going to be the blondes, because the blonde plus the blonde equals a blonde, I guess, according to stuff. So that's kind of the Guppy rack from start to end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 gallons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 gallons. I'm using a wire rack from Menards. It's actually graded at 800 pounds per shelf, but it's wire shelving, and so the shelving can bow in the middle. And I try to do the bottom one without any support, and you can kind of see how it kind of bows like right in the center there. The water level's not the complete best, but I think when it comes to these type of tanks, it can withstand a little bit of being off center. In fact, if we were to look at the build on some of these, they are off center to begin with. So this top one, I actually went with 2 2x4s for support underneath. So kind of what I'm doing is it's a 2x4 sitting on the wire, 2x4 sitting like just beyond the wire just a little bit, because it's just a little bit longer than what this was rated for. So hanging off in the end there, so not completely level, but if you look underneath, it's keeping a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? It's keeping a lot of stress off of the wire itself. So the idea that I'm going with is, I think I'm going to not put anything in the top level. I was thinking of putting my 5 gallons up there, but this is literally 6'2", 6'3". It's pretty tall, and so the tanks would be up here. I can only reach like that high. I can't even reach to the tanks if we put them up there. So what I'm going to do is probably put 5 gallons over here. I can cram 4 of them in on a 36-inch rack, or I can do 3 comfortably. And I might just do the 3 comfortably on that, but then also learn from using like this support, the 2x4s, maybe use some 1x4s, maybe, because I don't have much space, and put that in between, because even with that there, and then 5 gallons here. So I still want to grow out shrimp on their own. And what I found is when I put shrimp with fish, they do all right. The adults kind of are fine, right? They'll live, but it's hard to get a lot of baby shrimp out of it unless you got a lot of moss. I don't quite have a lot of moss yet, because it's like a quick start on a few of my tanks. Situation where I think I can breed more shrimp is probably down here with the fry. So combining smaller fish with lots of hiding places and lots of small fish, I think will help that. So that's kind of where I'm going. This is the Guppy rack. I also have a 40 breeder and a 20 long, where I kind of put my fish as well. So that's kind of more the area I've got going.